Hello everybody, my name is Davy Briggs, and today I kind of felt like just talking. You see, I don't really have a video for this month. God, it's laggy. Now, forgive me if it takes me a minute to get my bearings in this game. I haven't played it on PC, I've only played it on the Xbox. Now, I don't have a video for this month, and you may or may not care, but I do care. This kind of brings me to the first thing I really want to talk about, what I'm wanting to do with the channel. You see, I feel that there's a bit too much slop on the internet. That doesn't mean that there isn't a place for slop every now and then. Let's just say I cannot find a good video to eat to very consistently nowadays. You're either looking at like a 10-hour video essay on Victorious or like 1 or 2 minute skits. There's nothing really in the 15 to 20 minute range anymore. Most of my videos have been that way, not necessarily because shortness is one of my goals. I just feel that if I'm going to talk about something, I should make it longer than it really needs to be. You know, I like to go in depth. If I'm going to make a video, I have basically 3 goals. 1, be funny. 2, say something that's at least on some level meaningful. And number 3, rotate, there we go. And 3 is to go in depth on whatever I'm talking about. If I'm going to talk about an old TV show or a movie, I want to watch as many interviews as I can about it. And once or twice I have broken these rules already, you know. I'm not claiming to be perfect or anything. I think if a video of mine is to be considered good, it has to meet these criteria. I like my Christmas clicker video. I admittedly didn't do as much research as maybe I should have into some of the other stuff, because Christmas clicker is a seasonal variant of a different clicker game. I can't remember the name, but if I feel like it, I'll put it up on the screen here. I missed that, and that's something that's kind of obvious. But also, with what that video was, and what that video was about, I don't know if it would have really fit to talk about the in-depth history of Christmas clicker. But I feel like it meets the other criterias pretty well. I think it was funny. In my opinion, it is funny. It is the kind of comedy that I would like to bring to as many of my videos as possible. And it embodies a sort of long-gone YouTube. I grew up in a weird time, you know. Growing up around the 2020s is incredibly traumatizing and insane. You know, no matter what, even if you were in a perfect situation, you came out with a lot of scars. You know? And, I mean, me no different. But before all of that, I've always been a big fan of a certain style of YouTube. Some of my first video experiences was Beta 64, A+ Start. These channels sort of created a foundation for what I would later look for in a lot of videos. A+ Start isn't really uploading as much nowadays. In fact, I don't think they've uploaded in a while. Regardless, that has greatly affected my development. That and channels like The Gaming Historian, which sadly retired not too long ago. Officially retired. They were like pseudo-retired before, but they ended up deciding that they didn't really want to continue down that path, and they're doing a history podcast now. I grew up with Beta 64 and all of those other creators I mentioned that really put a lot of time and effort into researching these games. A art form that otherwise I wouldn't have really seen in this context treating it with historical importance, and there being something to learn from every game, from every video, from every developer, from every story. There was always something to learn there, and that helped create a passion for discussion about these things. It's seeing history that maybe the general public doesn't care about as much. History that wouldn't really otherwise be documented, being documented. It was something special for me when I was younger. That's really instilled that into me now. But the other side of my YouTube experience is from channels like PBG or Peter Knetter, Patter the Nah, if you would rather call him that. Before I really got into a lot of YouTube stuff, I watched a show called Good Eats, starring Alton Brown, and a lot of early YouTube kind of has a similar vibe to that show, where it feels kind of low budget, but has all of these like little comedy skits and characters, and just like this very specific sense of humor to everything. But there's like I said, there's a educational and there's some historical aspects to it all. Those two sides of my entertainment habits have really affected what I want a video to be. And there is a secret fourth goal to all of my videos, and that is seeking some kind of improvement / an artistic fulfillment. And I know I'm Christmas clicker, artistic fulfillment over Christmas clicker. I get it, but like I said, that video had more to it than just, oh, I can't stop playing this stupid game called Christmas Clicker. It was about struggle with like a form of, I don't know how to describe it. I made the video because I'm not fully sure how to describe it beyond what I depicted in the video, if that makes any sense. I'm a pretty big fan of a certain music artist, William Wood, their music. I'm a pretty big fan of that. And in an interview that I saw, he said something like, I think it was in response to the song Red Moon. The person asked, what is the song about? What does it mean? What does it represent? What is it? And he responded, well, I can't describe it. I made the song because I couldn't describe it. The song is the closest way of putting that feeling into words. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting lost in a fictional sense of grandeur. I don't know. But that is why I made that video. That is the reason I made that video. If I was going to talk about one of the videos that kind of broke those rules that I've kind of... I didn't start out with them necessarily, but I've had them in my subconscious kind of the whole time. But the one that kind of broke it was the YouTube censorship situation video. I did put some good jokes in there, I think. There's some funny stuff in it, but that video was made more out of a, I don't know, sense of desperation, because I was seeing the internet that I kind of liked when I was young dying. It was already dead by the time I made that video, let's be honest. But the last vestige of it was being snuffed out through that AI Big Brother kind of thing. Sorry, I'm getting a little focused on cleaning. So, when I heard the headlines and the news about it, I thought, okay, I need to say something. I don't really have that much of a platform, but that was the first headline, really, in a long time that kind of related to something that I do and care about. Because there's things that I do and maybe don't care about. I don't care about the latest news in dishwashing, but then there's also things that you don't do but care about. But a lot of them don't fall under something that I normally talk about. And there's a bit of a self-aggrandizing, I don't know if that'd be the right way to word it. There is an aspect of that, of just me yammering on about my funny little videos that I made and I'm proud of, and just talking about them like for way too long. I'm talking about them like they're a movie or something, and that's kind of pretentious. But I do care about them, and I'd like to be able to talk about it, you know? I mean, who are you to stop me? I mean, you're watching this right now, but by any means, you're enabling me by getting this far. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. Get it? Train station, train of thought. But, let's see, what was I saying? Oh, the video in question, the video about the censorship situation on YouTube, and the secret fourth rule that I've made for myself. I do not want to be a slop channel. I don't want to be talking about the latest drama, the latest news, and I do have respect for journalists, not the news, mind you. Professional journalists, I do have respect for, but the news is not professional journalism. When I say professional journalism, I'm talking like the people who uncovered Watergate, or that one guy in Bob Roberts who exposes Bob Roberts and then dies. I consider that to be an honorable profession. Tabloids, off. Fox News, off. Most annoying people on the planet. There's something about their voices. I don't listen to the news, like actual news networks. Every time I go somewhere where for some reason they have Fox News on, even if I don't hear the headlines, even if I have noise-canceling headphones that are blocking out every word they are saying, somehow it's like the pitch of their voice is attuned to this annoying frequency that causes me to have an aneurysm every time they speak. Honestly, I think that's a thing even when you don't know what they're saying, just to be clear, because I remember hearing the news as a kid and getting really mad and anxious. Like, if I didn't know how to read, like back then, like that young, the news has always been a thing that's annoyed me. Anyway, yeah, I've made it sort of a secret rule to not do that tabloidy, anything like that. But this one video, the topic just kind of happened to cross the barrier a little, so I thought, screw it, I'll make a video. And I'm not mad that I did. It's one of those things where if I was in that situation again, I would probably just make the video again, but I'm not super happy that the video exists. And I don't think it's the highest quality video that I've ever made, either. But, yeah, it's not. I made it in, like, 2 days. You can probably see that. I wanted to get it out before the policy went into effect to get the message out and hopefully spread the idea of a boycott. And it got, like, 20 views. Boo-hoo. I don't care. Views are nice, but they are blatantly not the point. I would like this to be my job, of course, too, so there is, like, a level of importance, but also, I just want my stuff to be good. I want to be good at what I do, and when I say I want this to be my job, that is because I cannot see myself in any other position. I don't see any world where I am happy that isn't through this. Now, earlier I said I don't have a video for this month, And technically that's kind of a lie, because this will probably be the video for the month. I probably will try to maybe do this more often. You know, if this ends up turning out good, I might make more of these. I might do this once a month alongside a normal video. If that's not too much work, who knows? But why isn't there a video this month? There's like 2 reasons. One, basically I ended up away from home, or like at least away from my computer for half the month, and it typically takes me a full month to do a video. And I often write my scripts in these short bursts, and they are often in advance and for videos that are more complicated than could reasonably be done in a single instant. That's something that I do wish that I could do. Just put up a camera and film a lot quicker and make videos faster. I wish I could, because I have a lot of ideas and I want to make them. I have scripts for maybe a year or 2, and all of them need notable amounts of planning, scheduling, and even script revisements, and that's a hard thing to do when you're stressing about getting this month's video out. And I was trying to get ahead of videos this year. I was hoping to hammer out 12 videos in like the first 4 months. That did not work out. That did not work out at all. You see, a little thing called Iron Lung came out, and after seeing it, I was so blown away that I knew I had to talk about it. And in the video, the Iron Lung video I made, I wrote that script in like maybe 2 days. It was one of the few that I did not plan for there to be characters or a notable story element. It was just me, and I decided to film it in Virtual Boy Red for basically the entire thing. And I think it turned out well. I like a lot of the visuals that I did. I think the scripting is good, and the amount of research I put in was basically the best that I could have at the time. Holy Swiss cheese, Batman, that movie. That is... I don't know if I can say that's my favorite movie, because I've always thought that the favorite movie or favorite TV show thing is kind of stupid, because just think about this for a second. Would you put the Three Stooges on the same level as Eraserhead, or Blue Velvet and Evil Dead 2? Would you put those next to each other? I don't think you would. Same with TV shows. Like, I wouldn't put Breaking Bad next to Phineas and Ferb. You know, they are just completely different things. And to say this is your favorite movie, period, feels insane. And it's kind of ironic that I'm saying this, because Twin Peaks is my favorite show. But if I'm going to say something in my defense, Twin Peaks does kind of cover all of the ranges of emotions. You know, everything happens in that show. You get a surreal element, you get some serious drama bits, you get dark crime, horror, mystery, comedy. There's just a lot to love there, and I don't know, maybe that's why I feel comfortable calling it my favorite, even when I don't really believe in the idea of there being, of somebody having a favorite show or favorite movie. But I think Iron Lung might be as close as a movie is going to get to tempting me to say it's my favorite. I don't think I can go on record, because there's going to be days in my life where I think, you know, I'm not in an Iron Lung mood. I'm in a My Dinner with Andre mood. Or a My Cousin Vinny mood, you know? Sometimes I want hope. Sometimes I want happiness. Sometimes I want to be trapped in a blood ocean. The dichotomy of man. But the Iron Lung video, it took me like 2 or 3 days to script. I filmed it over the course of 2 agonizing nights. It was freezing cold. It had been snowing for like the past 2 months, is what it felt like. I don't know if you've experienced going in and out rapidly between hot and cold. It depends on, I guess, where you live. But spending like 5 hours out in the cold makes you very tired and not really want to do it again the next day. But I did. And if you've seen the blooper video that I made for the Iron Lung video, you'll see I got to be a bit of a cranky pants towards the end. Because I was so goddamn sick of it. I didn't want to be out there filming anymore. And then editing, that took like 2 weeks, I think. About 2 weeks. And God, I wish I could edit faster, but I think it was a good edit. And I got a comment on that video that made me realize I've made it. You know, I haven't made it, you know. It's not my job, you know. I can't expect to live my entire life off of this. Not currently. But I realize I have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve through this one comment. You know, there's always more to do. There's always more to learn. But this one comment, I'll put it up here if I can. But the person said, I have watched this video twice, and it is my favorite Iron Lung video essay. And I took a while to release that video. You know, it was a couple weeks maybe after the movie's national launch, and there were people releasing their videos on the movie like 2 days before it was even available in a theater near me. And I'm glad I took that time. I am very proud that I took the time to go through all of these interviews and learn as much as I could about the movie. That way, if there was anything interesting, I could share it with everybody. I think if there's going to be a video, if you're going to make a video about something, you should cover it as thoroughly as possible. And if you can, it would come at it with a unique take or a very interesting take. Because otherwise, you're kind of wasting their time. There are too many videos nowadays that are just wasting your time, you know? I'm not calling anybody out specifically. It's really blame the almighty algorithm, you know? It's just... Anyway, when I got that comment, it sort of made my week. They watched it twice, and they made a comment about how much they liked it. You know, it's just one person, and that's enough. Anyway, the video situation. You may be wondering about the video situation. Haha. Situation. Ha. Views. I don't care about the views, but views. The reason why there isn't a video this month, I brought it up earlier. I was away from my computer for a large portion of the month. I've not had a clear slate. But then, you may be wondering, you didn't have backup? Of course I had a backup. I had a video that I had wrote and filmed, a video about the Rambo series. And this video, well, I scrapped it. I scrapped the Rambo video. At least the current version of the Rambo video. I got into editing. I got like 2 or 3 days into editing. I had finished the portion talking about Rambo First Blood. And I had realized I had not experienced the books. I had not seen Rambo Freedom Force. I had not listened to interviews. And frankly, I had very little knowledge about the conflicts outside of Vietnam. You see, all of the Rambo movies take place during some kind of war conflict. Except for Rambo 5, which is Taken, but it's Home Alone, and you could say the politics are questionable. I wouldn't say that in another administration, maybe, but not really my area, but yucky stuff going on over there, guys. Guys, I think the people in power might not be all too nice. Controversial, I know, but anyway. Anyway, I say anyway too much. Anyway, and occasionally like. I use that as sort of a way of ending a certain train of thought and moving on to another. It is definitely annoying if I'm writing a script. If I'm thinking to myself or journaling or something, I think it's fine. Back on topic. Ha! That's a different way of saying it. That's a different way of saying it. That's good. That's a good one, me. I scrapped the current version of the Rambo video. I knew the name of the Contras. I know about the Middle East. I know about those conflicts. I know about the towers, because they just won't let me forget. I don't even remember, and they won't let me forget. Oh yeah, clean that baby. Anyway. So I realized I hadn't done a lot of what I've told myself I need to do for my videos. I didn't do what I wanted. And I thought, okay, I'll go ahead. I'll look at some interviews. Maybe if I can get an audiobook or something going for the novel, I will do that while I do some house cleaning. And I do have a video idea that I'll probably script within the next couple days. It's gonna be something to do with a certain cleaning robot, and it is not a Roomba. It's not one of the new ones. It's the good one, the little guy who helps families with divorces and brings dads back from the dead by making pacts with Satan. You know, the little guy, the good guy, you know, my little Scrumblow. My little Grimblow, my Oingy Splongy, my little cream puff, clanker / affectionate. If you know, you know. But I also say but too much. Back to the Rambo video. I did go through all of the interviews I could find. I looked it up. I looked up as many on YouTube as I could find. I tried looking at articles. I found all of the comics that exist, and I even have gotten audiobooks, and I've listened to the first one, and I've listened through the second one. And there's so much interesting shit that I would have missed out on if, one, I didn't at least check out the books, and two, if I hadn't listened to them all the way through. Because the first one has a lot of differences, and it is untethered to the movie. The movie and the book are two different experiences. The messaging and the impact and everything is so different with how it hits. Both, I think, are equally good, different experiences. But the other thing is I would have missed so much interesting development history about Rambo 2 and 3 if I hadn't listened to the audiobooks. Because in the foreword, the author of the original book talks about what he changed and his experience with the movie's production. Because although he wasn't directly involved, he would receive scripts regularly. I would have missed all of that, and also, as I said, I didn't really know a lot about the conflicts. I've been talking for a while. I don't know how long I've been recording. I have a lot. I have research that I need to do, is what I'm saying. I know about the Contras. I know they exist. And with Rambo 4, I hated that movie. I hated that movie with my whole ass. I hated that movie with my whole ass. But listening to some interviews, I found out that it was actually about a real conflict. And my dumbass, for some reason, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. You know, all the movies are based around real conflicts, and Rambo 4 exists. And I couldn't really think of a conflict, you know? I just assumed, oh, this is... So yeah, I think you see why I felt that I couldn't put that video out, where I'd talk about Rambo 4 as being, like, incredibly stupid and dumb, and I hate it so much. And I mean, I still hate it. I still loathe that movie. And I don't think my opinion has changed or will change, even with like a rewatch, which I'll probably do very soon. But I want to hate things right. If I'm going to hate on something, I want to hate on it right. You know? I don't want to hate on a movie because I didn't understand it. I want to hate on a movie because it's dog shit. And Rambo 4 isn't the only reason, you know. I already said most of the other reasons. I may reuse footage from the previous version of the video. Who knows? I mean, most of what I filmed for Rambo First Blood, I think, still works. But my hair has grown, and I've since got it cut, and I don't know, I just won't look quite right, and that was already multiple different filming days, so who knows? And most of my other videos have similar problems. I like video games, but a big reason why you may have noticed me not talk about them all that much, even though I consider that to be a very big thing in my life, is the fact that I feel if I'm going to talk about a series, or a game, or whatever, I need to know everything about it. I need to know absolutely every detail. I cannot make a video about the Driver series until I've played every single Driver game all the way through, read every single obscure comic, read every single magazine interview or YouTube interviews, or that one time somebody showed up on Late Night with Conan O'Brien with a actor in a movie that inspired Driver, you know? I don't feel that I can just make a simple video about a game because there's often way too much tied to a game, because it's typically a series. Maybe indie games, maybe if I really get into playing a lot of indie games, I might be able to find the ability to do that. Maybe. But as for now, I mean, like, the only reason why Iron Lung even got out within the time frame that it did was because it was a movie that I had seen, a game that was like an hour and a half long, and a couple interviews that I could listen to while I cleaned. You know, that was it. I didn't need to do any reading for anything here, you know? I didn't need to do a lot of fancy stuff for that, but I don't know, like, other videos, like a Hotline Miami video I'm working on, that game series is amazing. I think the story is great, but I don't fully understand it. I don't feel like I do. There's a lot of fan theories, and I feel like some of the fan theories almost miss the point. I don't know, maybe it's just my Twin Peaks brain rot thinking about like stuff that David Lynch has said a little too hard. It's kind of more about the experience of playing it than the experience of understanding it entirely. I get Hotline Miami. I get the game in broad strokes. I get the story in broad strokes. And I've watched a lot of videos that have helped me get down to some of the more nitty-gritty stuff, but there seems to be a lot of debate still about a lot of key details and answers that we will never get to various things, because there's not going to be a Hotline Miami 3. But yeah, Hotline Miami is a video that I'm wanting to do, but I haven't gone through enough interviews for me to feel comfortable with the script being completed. I have not finished my writing about Hotline Miami just because there's so much to say that I couldn't get it all done in one sitting, and I do it in short bursts, and I don't often get a full choice in when I get to write about the stuff. I just write about it when it comes. And finally, there's a bunch of other stuff that comes with Hotline Miami. There's a series of comic books that I have not got the chance to read, and they are too expensive for me to just buy all of them. I've been thinking about getting a library card, seeing as there's a lot of more obscure books that I would like to order. I haven't read the autobiography of FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper, even though I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. I haven't read that. I really want to read it. I want to experience it. The book is like $100, and I often find trouble trying to get myself to read something that I actually want to read. So I think unless I have a time limit that would kind of be imposed by a library, it might just end up on a shelf, and then I end up never reading it, even though I really want to. And every once in a while, like once every 2 or 3 months, I'm gonna pass by my bookshelf. I'm gonna look on it. I'm gonna see the book there. I'm gonna see it gathering dust, and I'm gonna get mad at myself. And I'll pick it up and I'll read it for like 5 pages, and then I'll end up putting it down because I gotta go do something else, and then I'll never pick it up again. I guess comment if you've had something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's ADHD. I don't know. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting a library card. A library card. Because of, one, that book, but also, like, I'm writing a video follow-up to my Erie, Indiana, kind of short movie. That one was heavy on the story in comparison to some of my other videos. And I'm really wanting to follow it up. I'd like to do it for Halloween. I don't know if I actually could do it for Halloween, because I tried doing that last year, and I ended up finishing it late and was unable to actually record the full finale for the thing, because I foolishly thought that could all be filmed in one day. I was wrong. With this Erie, Indiana follow-up, I have decided to up the scale and have also landed on it being at minimum a 3-day shoot, but there's also this part of me that's like, I can't film this. One, it's not October, we're not in the fall season, and because of that, I can't really film a lot of the scenes that I want to film. I could film some of them, but then I'm gonna have to be very careful about haircuts and outfits and all of that in future months. So that could be a problem if I decided to go that route. And if I don't, well, then that's just gonna be a lot of work getting pretty close to Halloween. So yeah, I have Erie, Indiana follow-up floating around. I've got like 90% complete script for specifically for the story section. And Hotline Miami, that one's in the works, but I have to order some props, and I have to schedule a proper filming day, and I need to complete the script, and I can't complete the script unless I read all the comics. God forbid I read all the comments. But yeah, I gotta read all the comics and, look at interviews and stuff, and that's gonna be time consuming. And when I don't have a video ready, when I don't have an actual video ready, I don't feel comfortable spending all that time reading. I don't feel very comfortable spending all that time reading or cleaning or watching a movie or playing a game or doing anything really, because it's stressful. I don't have anything. But not having anything is preventing me from doing the stuff that I need to do to have stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm making this. That way I have something. And I can stop thinking about it for a little while. What I should probably do is film a couple of these and just supplement the next, month or two on this. That way I can spend all of that time recording. Anyway. What's another thing I have in production? Actually, no. I'm not gonna tell you what I have in production. I have a number of things, a number of ideas floating around in this noggin of mine, and I really hope that I can bring them all to fruition. Yeah, I'm gonna go probably to 25%, and then I think I'll stop this. My God, I hope this was recording. I clicked the record button. I know I did. But I am stressing out. So, I hope I haven't rambled too much, which, yeah, you're here for a yap sesh. I'm giving you a yap sesh. You want something to quell the dark void in your head? Here I am, splitting through the darkness. Be gone, darkness, be gone. But, one thing that I've really thought about, I've really been thinking about this, and I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear what you think about this. I have been thinking on whether to go to a college or not. Now, nowadays, you don't really need to. I mean, especially in the field that I'm wanting to go into. In any of the fields that I could see myself going into. Anything creative. You can be taught by anyone, anywhere. You can be self-taught. You could hire a tutor. But there's a couple reasons why I want to, and there's a couple reasons why I don't want to. Why I want to, community. Community is a major factor. Love the show. Love the... No, I haven't seen it. I've heard that it's very good for making friends and just really getting out there, you know. And there's probably a better way. Counterpoint, I don't want to go into debt for the rest of my life. I'd rather not owe my soul to Wells Fargo, you know? I would rather not have my intestines eaten by Chase Bank. Another pro is I love working on cameras and filming. And I love the idea of learning more about that. And I know I can learn a lot of that elsewhere, but some of the stuff that I would really like to learn is lenses and film. And realistically, I don't see a way of learning that stuff without going to college. I don't see a world where I'm going to be able to film on film without a teacher being involved first. And I don't have infinite money. I can't throw several $1,000s into lenses so I can find the almost imperceptible differences between like 2 or 3 different lenses, you know? There's probably some good videos or a channel out there. If anybody knows a good channel dedicated specifically to lenses, like that one guy who makes videos about coffee brewing and brewing methods, if you have any specialty channels like that, if you know about anything like that, tell me, please. Cleaning. Oh, jeez, cleaning. Just love cleaning. Just really need to clean this. Just let me clean this real quick. Yeah, just real quick, let me clean this. Oh, yeah, so clean. Clean. There we go. I completely lost my train of thought. I do that a lot. Oh, yeah. College. I don't see a way of me learning about camera lenses and film in a, solid manner where I'll be able to use them to any extent unless I go to college. Because I'm not bloated. I'm not loaded. I am not full of the green, as the youth would like to say. Actually, I don't think they've ever said anything like that. Do I sound young? Oh yeah, that's kind of that's the reason why I'm really thinking about it. It's just I'm getting older. And I'm realizing, if I'm going to go, it would probably be better if I did it now. Because I'm still kind of near that age group. I'd be starting late, but I'm still within the age group. And, yeah, that's why I've been thinking about it. Pros, friends, get to learn about film and lenses, and maybe a secret third thing, learn. Just in general, learn. I've wanted to make games in the past, and I still want to make them, but my biggest problem is I've only ever made games in dreams, PS4, mind you, not just in my head, although I have played through them many a time in my head. And Dreams PS4 is legitimately the best game creation tool I have ever seen. Just in my entire life, that's the best one to ever have existed. And it's been killed off by Sony. Who knows how long the servers are still going to be up. And it just had so much potential. And if they made a couple of small tweaks and made it available on PC and you can export your games, they would have created the literal best game engine to ever have existed. Instead, we are stuck with Godot and Unreal Engine 5, which I've heard has been getting a lot of hate, which is really weird because I watched all of the videos about game development back in the day, and Unreal was always the one to go with. Unity was good for a couple specific things, but if you really want to do anything, you go with Unreal. Anyway, I might actually be able to learn stuff about game development, like coding and stuff, because my biggest problem would be not having other people there to keep me accountable and keep me going on the thing. Once again, the con is I have made a promise to myself that I will not allow myself to go into life-altering debt, especially not over something that stupid. Plus, student loans have a clause, if I remember correctly, where they can, where they allow the government to draft you. You're agreeing to a draft when you take a student loan, if I understand that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe you are. I am not dying. I am not dying for any of this. I think I would sooner die to protect my local pizza shop than for oil. Or whatever the excuse is. Weapons of mass destruction, nuclear bombs, security, purity, whatever the code is this time, whatever they use to get to agree with everything they say, I'm not going along with that. Like I said, I would sooner die for my local pizza shop than them. That's a little bit of throat coat tea and honey. It is very cold. That's a big reason why I haven't pulled the trigger, so to speak. Maybe I shouldn't say. Maybe I shouldn't use that phrase when I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah. So I've been thinking about it because it's not the end of like that being a possibility, but I don't know. I've definitely thought of community college though. I have definitely thought of doing a community college thing. A lot more than like an actual college. Just because it costs less and all the credits carry over if you decide to go to an actual college. Plus, maybe I could learn to be like a carpenter or something as like a backup thing. You know, there's definitely creativity that's in that too. I think when I clean this pole, I think that's going to tick over to 24%. I'm going to stop for the night because my throat is kind of killing me because I haven't talked this much in a while. Mostly because I have been stressing about learning about a video script and then actually working on that video script or recording it. I haven't talked a lot recently. Anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts on anything here. If there's something you'd like me to talk about, maybe another installment of whatever the hell this is, let me know. I really enjoy doing Power Wash Simulator, and I would love an excuse to do more of this. Shout out to Markiplier, both for making Iron Lung and doing that Power Washing Pals podcast that kind of gave me this idea. Oh, 25%. I guess that's about it. Yeah. If you like this, why not subscribe? Of course, you don't have to. You're your own person. Always remember that. And I'll see ya when I see ya, I guess. Whenever that is. Whether that's in another video like this or a actual well done video. I'll see you when I see ya. Bye.